Shelley Luther will spend the next week in jail. Now the judge.
One salon owner in North Texas, well, she learned that the hard way.
And a hair salon owner who had also opened up her store has been jailed.
Luther tore up the citation to the cheer of the crowd.
But in Dallas, salon owner Shelley Luther faced 7 days in jail for...
So your client is in jail right now?
But yesterday, a woman by the name, and I want you to remember this name, a woman by the name of Shelley Luther in Texas.
We don't support the random jailing of, for example, the woman who's now a household name, Shelley Luther.
I thought it was terrible. I thought he was a terrible judge.
The prisoner would like to speak a word. You need to apologize. What were you thinking? He said you need to apologize to the politicians. I was like, what?
So, sir, if you think the law is more important than kids getting fed, then please go ahead with your decision, but I am not going to shut the salons.
They're putting this woman in jail because she's trying to feed her kids. The whole thing is screwed up.
Well, I'm proud to stand with Shelley Luther, and I'll tell you what happened to her was wrong.
I'm not anyone special. I just know that I have rights. You have rights to feed your children and make income. And anyone that wants to take away those rights is wrong.
We only had people in Washington, D.C. who had half the guts of this patriot. Play Shelley Luther.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Courage to Stand. I'm Shelley Luther. I hope that you got to catch last week's show with Dr. Thomas. If you saw any of the Dr. Fauci emails that came out, we actually taped that show before the Fauci emails came out, and Dr. John Thomas was talking about how he did not feel like any of the science that Fauci was giving all of us that changed everybody's lives was actually real. And then our show comes out right after the Fauci emails, basically confirming exactly what the doctor said. So if you missed that show, please go back and watch that. Share that with your friends, because we're showing you actual real people here on Courage to Stand that want to stand up for the right thing, but they don't have a voice. And so we need to share and make sure that it gets out everywhere, to make sure that other people that are going through the same thing as far as being hit politically or their business, because basically we're not huge government officials that can basically shut everybody down. Today's episode is exactly like that, but even more harsh. I want to welcome to the show the owner of the Rail Club Live, Chris Pallone. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shelley.
You look defeated.
It's when you fight the government fights you. So it's
and they have a lot more players. It's not fair. And I know exactly. You and I met fairly recently after I had gotten out of jail. Mm-hmm. And I said, man, this guy's fighting hard. And what a lot of people don't realize is the battle was different. A lot of people are like, go save that guy, go save that guy in Texas. And I know a lot of you are not in Texas that watch the show, but we have Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission, TABC, which obviously does not regulate salons. We could actually serve alcohol, but because we give it away free, it's not regulated, which is a whole nother crazy story. But I was not affected directly by TABC because it was a whole different regulation system. Bars in Texas were basically just screwed. And Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission is run by, who is their boss?
Kevin J. Willie is the chairman.
Kevin J. Willie. And who is his boss? Governor Abbott?
Yes, Greg
Governor Abbott runs it. So it's a government-run entity. And basically what their primary job is to regulate the alcohol sales, make sure people are paying their taxes that they're supposed to. Their job definitely isn't to close down businesses.
No.
So can you tell me what happened? Okay, so like when I was shut down, we shut down for a month. Did you guys shut down in March?
Yes, we were shut down for 90 days.
90 days. Okay. For those of you, I shut down for 30 days before I went to jail. You stayed closed 3 months.
Just about, yes.
So we met after I saw the social media hoopla on you. I'm like, Tim and I are like, we have to go meet this guy and see what we can do to help, which come to find out, we couldn't do much because of TABC. All we could do was social media wise help you. So what happened exactly? Like, explain the breakdown, because people want to know exactly what happened. And because a lot of people see you as a villain. Why didn't you just shut down?
Absolutely.
You know, you have a family.
Of course. Of course. You know, we might not be essential to you necessarily, but I'm essential to my children.
Exactly.
You know, as well as my
And a lot of
staff.
people look at you have tattoos. I mean, a lot of people look at you like you might be a bad person because of the way you look, things like that.
We're
you
the
know?
undesirables.
Undesirables, not to me,
No, I'm with
but there are some people that would look at you and be like, this guy, he couldn't own a business.
Absolutely.
You own a business, you run a business, you know math, you can read,
ma'am.
all of these things, and you had a very lucrative business before all of this happened. You
ma'am.
had live bands coming in from all over the nation, coming and just letting people go in there and have a good time.
Absolutely.
So what happened?
So it's important to start this off so that everybody's on the same page. June 26, 2020, Governor Abbott lied on national television to every single one of you guys. He said that he was closing down the bars, which couldn't be further from the truth. He did not close down the bars. He closed down the 51% bars, which means they derive more than 50% of their gross revenue annually from the sale of alcohol.
Okay, so let's start there. So he shut down everybody in March. I go to jail in May. You're still shut down at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
He did open bars and restaurants back up for like 2 weeks or
3
something.
weeks,
It's
yes,
3
ma'am.
weeks. 3 weeks, I remember. And then all of a sudden, somebody came up with some study saying that it had to be the individually owned bars, the ones that did not sell food. COVID had to be there and nowhere else. Nowhere else
Exactly.
where they serve alcohol.
Exactly.
Salons, we can serve alcohol because, and as long as we don't charge people for it. So he closed down 51 percenters. 51% means that you have more alcohol sales than you do food or any other item.
Yes.
So that means you shut doon because you didn't serve food or any item that outperformed your alcohol sales.
Right.
But if you are Chili's, any of these restaurants that have even sectioned off bar sections, you could not get COVID there.
It's important to understand they have the same exact mixed beverage permit as us. The difference is I can bring a gun into Applebee's, but I can't bring a gun into the Rail Club Live.
That's the only
it.
difference in the license.
Absolutely.
The only difference in the license is a gun is not permitted in your place because you don't sell other things that outperform your liquor.
Exactly. And here's the other crazy part is when he closed down the 51 percenters, it's important everyone understands not only what the definition is, but it also is made up primarily of small business owners, VFWs, elk lodges, American Legions, and other nonprofit veteran organizations.
So we did that. We went and served Tim and my campaign group and a lot of people. We went and hosted a Thanksgiving dinner to assist with some of the veterans who had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. And we talked to the American Legion. I don't know what you call the head guy of it, but he said they were in big trouble because they served alcohol there. They served food. But they shut down the only place where veterans had to go talk to other veterans.
Yes, it's horrible because we never started fighting the government over this because of our right to sell alcohol. It had nothing to do with that. The way Executive Order GA-28 was written stated that patrons will not patronize 51% establishments, which means the only people allowed on the property is the owners and the operators. My employees aren't allowed. My mother isn't allowed on my property. It's like me coming to your house and telling you grandma's got to go.
Basically, that's what I think Clay Jenkins and Judge Moy, they gave me a temporary restraining order against my own business. And I'm going, who's going to start paying the lease on this? Because it's kind of a lot.
Exactly.
But you could go on so let's also talk about when you close down a business like this. It's not just grungy looking bar owners.
Right.
These are business savvy people. This is your partners. This is bartenders. This is waitresses. This is your cleaning staff. This is all the musicians. This is your promoters. This is the booking agents. This is the freezer guy. It's millions and millions and millions of people were affected in Texas because the 51 percenters were closed down.
Absolutely.
Governor Abbott did not care at all.
Nope. And he violated Article 1, Section 17 of the Texas Constitution by doing so. Article 1, Section 17 of the Texas Constitution literally verbatim states, it's the takings clause. You cannot take private property for public use without just compensation. They didn't pay us to shut down.
No, they didn't pay anybody to shut down. So he's an attorney. Just checking. And hopefully he's read the Constitution.
Maybe he needs to reread.
But what I'm saying is there is a clause in there And it definitely wasn't made for the Disaster Act. But if you're going to use certain laws to say that you have the right to do something, you've got to follow all the laws.
Right, and the Texas Constitution protects us from that as well. He cannot make a executive order that it cannot supersede the Texas Constitution. He literally superseded the Texas Constitution. Nobody did anything about it.
Right. There is one law that was created in, I think, 1975. It's the Disaster Act of 1975. It definitely wasn't for like a virus or a pandemic.
Right.
It was basically more for like earthquakes and tornadoes and weather disasters, honestly. And to give the governor power to evacuate if he needed to or do something like that. But honestly, in my opinion, and in my attorney's opinion, that is unconstitutional.
Absolutely.
You do. I mean, I know they had their heart in the right place when they were creating that, but you do not have the right to tell me to evacuate my house if I don't want to.
You're right.
I mean, it would be stupid if I didn't, but you don't have the right to legally make me lose my house, which is basically confiscating my house from me. So you had, when was the first day that you opened back up?
We as far as defying the government.
No, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's defying the government. I would say exercising your rights as a citizen.
So I was a hazmat specialist for 10 years, and to be specific, I specialized in DOT 6.2, which is infectious substances. I was part of the.
Wait.
I was a part of the Ebola strike team.
Okay, wait. For how long?
10 years.
Okay, so for 10 years, you were part of the Ebola strike team.
Well, yeah, that was one of the many contracts.
One of them.
Yes.
You were basically, as far as hazmat is concerned, an expert.
Yes.
In communicable diseases.
Yes, we used to make mitigation plans and contingency plans for the state of Texas, as a matter of fact.
You have, even without COVID coming, TABC is allowed to come in and inspect your property at any time. If there's a roach somewhere, your side, like if there's anything going on as far as sanitation practices are concerned, they should have already been on top of that.
Absolutely.
That's the same with salons. We have very high sanitation training, but now they're saying it's all for our fault if we didn't keep it sanitary, but they never came around to begin with in the first place.
Exactly. Why be regulated if they're not going to do their job?
Exactly. Okay, so the day you decide to open back up.
We decided, I got with my staff, and we decided that we were going to perform a safety demonstration in which we went above and beyond CDC recommendations, above and beyond Texas health mandates. We fogged our building with a COVID-19 substance that kills it off. The entire atmosphere.
I had a lot of people trying to sell that to me. I just didn't, I know why you did it. You knew that your bar was already sanitary, but you wanted to prove, to show that you would do everything possible to keep anyone safe. And let's keep in mind, these people were willingly walking in. It's not like you were holding a gun to their head. They wanted to come in to your facility.
We're an 800 capacity room. We only allowed 40 people to participate in this, in which we hand chose. We did not charge a cover. We did not sell alcohol. We locked it all up because this is a demonstration. This is me protesting on a building that I operate.
That you're legally allowed to do.
Yes.
So you didn't sell alcohol.
Nope.
It should have nothing to do with TABC because there was no alcohol there. What happened?
Andrew Norton, which apparently is a felony for me to say, according to the TABC.
Well, say it again.
Absolutely. Andrew Norton. I mean, how dumb do you guys think we are?
Yeah.
Honestly. So he shows up about 30 minutes into our demonstration. Like I said, no alcohol, no money exchanged between business, myself, or patron. Or, I wouldn't even call him that, protester. All tables were social distanced out, check temperatures, the whole 9 yards. Everyone's wearing masks. Takes me outside, and you can see all the news crews swarming me, and he tells me that I can shut down or I can get a 30-day suspension. And
a 30 days, and so this is TABC saying that they're going to suspend your liquor license for 30 days when you were not even really allowed to be open anyway.
Right.
So a suspension on top of already being shut down.
Right. It's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? Yeah. It's kind of, so
okay.
So I mean, you can see it right there on the news clippings. I told him the same thing I just told you. We don't have alcohol. We're not selling anything. And he said that Greg Abbott has given us the authority to interpret Executive Order GA 28. You need to shut down.
So he says, Greg Abbott. Okay.
So I walked back in after refusing to shut down and ripped up that mandate
Good for
in
you.
front of everybody.
Good for you.
And little did I know that was going to be the spark that ignited a forest fire that we're still dealing with to this day.
There's not a lot of bar owners that were willing to stand up because TABC had such a chokehold on them. It was kind of like Governor Abbott's little ace in the hole when it came to people fighting back against the mandates. And now looking back a year later, more than a year later, the Fauci emails coming out where he is basically saying that masks don't work. Basically, it just has to run its course. Keeping people in their homes is not what's going to stop this. We've had that feeling beforehand. It doesn't matter. The government is not there to protect us. They are there to protect our rights. And we stood up. And you got lots of death threats. You have children.
Yeah, so 2 beautiful boys.
2 beautiful boys. I want to talk more about that when we get back, because this was so important to you that you were willing to not have your kids for a little while because you were so afraid of your life, you did not want to involve them.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching, you guys. We'll be right back. The following are sponsors for today's show. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please visit us at couragetostand.com. Looking to buy or sell real estate in North Texas? The Neal team with Better Homes and Gardens Wine-Inns specialize in residential and farm and ranch properties. Call our friends Donnie and Darla at 903-744-5475 or email neal@wineinsbhg.com. Just one call, and as Donnie says, the pretty blonde and the ugly cowboy can put the power of 2 to work for you. Your journey starts here. Again, Donnie and Darla Neal at 903-744-5475. Jara Hutchins owns Clearing the Chamber, a female-owned firearms and self-defense training company that specializes in teaching women, youth, and families how to stay safe. We have a class for everything, including intro to handgun, time management for the gun owner, how to talk to your kids about firearms, license to carry, and how to protect what you're expecting, a class for new and expecting mothers. We have all 5-star reviews on Facebook and respond quickly to your questions. Give us a call at 469-665-9333 or email clearingthechamber@gmail.com and schedule your free consultation. Again, that consultation is free. Just give us a call at 469-665-9333. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Courage to Stand. I'm sitting here with the owner of the Rail Club Live in Fort Worth, Texas, Chris Pallone. We're talking about your kids, and this is serious.
Absolutely.
This is serious because I know what it feels like. We had helicopters above our house. We had death threats from both sides of the aisle. People thinking that I was just out to kill everybody. I wanted every single person dead at the time. And they were willing to give me a death threat, which doesn't make sense, because I was willing to open up and I just wanted to kill everybody.
Right.
What was happening? What kind of threats were you receiving? You have 2 pretty young kids.
You know, prior to July 4th, we announced our plan, our safety demonstration, and then the floodgates just opened. I'm talking dead birds, countless death threats like through Facebook and things like that.
Dead birds, like on the porch of the
Rail Club. Yes. Oh yeah, it was bad. I was never in fear of my life, but my children, for sure. Like you can come after me, do what you need to do to me, but do not mess with my children.
Right.
So yeah, I had to, my family had to leave my house, and it actually resulted in us separating further.
Wow.
Because the last year we've given up everything from all of our personal finances to our peace of mind, to looking over our shoulders. And I don't want my children going through that. And the confusion that comes with it. My 7-year-old wants to be a police officer. So when he sees me swarmed by 15 TABC agents who blocked all my doors and exits and put me in the kill box.
Who look like police officers.
He's confused. He naturally thinks Dad's
and let's just say, we don't have a problem with police officers.
Not at all.
There is zero problem with police officers.
And Fort Worth PD did a great job over the last year.
And I said that about Dallas PD too. They were almost embarrassed that they had to come serve because, first of all, They knew it wasn't their place to do that.
Right.
They didn't want to do that.
Right.
They were made to do that because our government officials, Greg Abbott, is a coward.
Amen.
And I don't know about you, but Greg Abbott, he never met, he's never spoken to me on the phone directly. I've asked to meet with him several times, no. And he's saying that he wants to work with us, but he won't meet with us because he won't acknowledge us.
I had 15,000 of our organization members send the same exact letter that I wrote to Governor Abbott. We never heard anything back.
15,000.
15,000 pledged to do it.
Wow.
We have never heard a word from him.
So you still have attorney bills. We have the same attorney.
Yes, we do.
By the way, I don't use my attorney as much anymore. Sorry. I mean, I'm glad I'm out of jail. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not paying you. But you still have a ton of attorney fees.
ma'am.
There, do you have somewhere where people can help you?
We do. It's Chris Pallone Fights for Freedom. And honestly,
.com?
Forgive me. Yeah, it's on the GoFundMe.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
it's titled.
So you could go to GoFundMe and go to Chris Polone, and you can see his name there, and we'll post that as well. Fights for Freedom. And this isn't just him.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not just Chris. This is not just Chris's family. Unfortunately, to you, it's everything, your family.
Sweet.
But you have taken one for the team.
Right. I represent
across
all the
the
51
nation.
percenters.
Across the nation. You guys did something. You opened up how many bars across Texas? Was it across
It was
Texas?
across Texas.
How many of them?
We hosted the largest bar protest in American history. We had 797 bars stand in solidarity with us on July 25th for Freedom Fest.
July 25th, Freedom Fest. Okay, so that's when the 51 percenters were supposed to be closed. Meanwhile, after the TABC officers come and give you all of that hell for being open that first day, it was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Exactly. Exactly.
You went to afterwards, after you shut down your protest, your demonstration, you guys went across the street to Boomer Jack's. For those of you across the nation that may not know what Boomer Jack's is, it's kind of like Chili's or whatever. They serve food, but they do have a bar area that is mainly like bar people.
$3 crown and down. I love it.
$3 crown and down.
Can't
Okay,
beat that.
so you go there. It's packed.
Packed. Yes, we counted 297 people. I counted.
297 people. Yours had 40.
40.
Was TABC there?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Nope. And we even called to make a point. We even took a photo, a side-by-side photo, to show what we did versus what they did. And yeah, nothing at all.
So you can get COVID where there's 40 people with masks. You have an 800-person capacity, all spread out with masks on. But you could be, there were people, I'm sure, sitting in people's laps, arms around each other, no masks on because you're drinking.
Right.
But TABC was not there.
Exactly, which ignited our fire even more. I mean, this was never about saving our business at this point. This is
No,
about
and
right
I noticed
on.
that too. When I shut down, the pet groomer next door was cussing me out because I was trying to kill people, but they were essential the whole time because, of course, your pet needs to be groomed, but not yourself.
Absolutely.
The day that I went to jail, you could get an abortion, Botox, breast augmentation. You could get your dog groomed. You could buy CBD oil. You could get liquor to go, but you could not get your hair cut. It is not about safety at that point. And we knew it. And they didn't expect us to call their bluff.
Nope. And I don't think they expect us to take it as far.
Oh, no.
And that's what, here's the deal. Is when you take on Texas, Texas takes on you. When they violate your rights on national television, they don't just hit you up and apologize. They do everything out of their power even to suffocate you out or to silence you. And that's what we're dealing with to this day. They're trying to take our license away to this day.
So you got an email yesterday, or
Yes.
your attorney sent you the email saying that they are trying to permanently suspend your license.
Yes.
Because I'm still going through that. A lot of people don't know that either. With the salon, the city of Dallas is still trying to take away my salon, even after the Fauci emails come out, even after we've been proven right. But even if we weren't right, even if this was like a real thing, like what people said it was, or what Fauci said it was, they don't have the right to do what they did.
Right. You are absolutely right. That's why our Fifth Amendment exists. Right there. I mean, we would have no problem closing down if they would have honored the U.S. and the Texas Constitution. That's why it's in writing. That's why it's there.
Right.
And we didn't back off of that.
Right.
So, yes, to answer your question, yes, still to this day, they are trying to silence us out permanently. Now, to be fair, they've been trying to take our license away for the last year. What they're doing is they're trying to make me involved in a money pit, which it is. You know, as soon as we get back up on our feet, it's like I got to pay the attorneys more. I got to do this. That,
No,
the
what
other.
what they hope is that you run out of money.
Yes.
Because they have unlimited sources.
Yes.
And they just want to just basically drain you from your family, drain you from your money, drain you from your club to where you have absolutely nothing until you shut up.
Absolutely.
And that's why when the people spoke up for me and did that GoFundMe, and I know people have probably helped you, probably not in as big as fashion, but we need to change that, because it's okay to disagree with the government, people.
Yes.
You're not a bad person because you disagree. Our entire history revolves around disagreeing. And the Constitution was built to make sure that the government didn't think that they were in charge of us.
Absolutely. And
that they didn't think that they could tell us what to do. It's actually the opposite.
And that's what this GoFundMe is all about. It's not to protect the Rail Club Live. What everyone needs to understand is there's never been a lawsuit like this in American history, right? So this is uncharted waters. So all it takes is one bar to win this thing, and now you open up the floodgates, because all the lawyers are trying to figure out how to approach this and things like that. You know, miles and miles of red tape. Politicians have put miles and miles of red tape between us and them, so that when they violate our rights, it's going to cost us $250,000 just to scratch the surface of getting
Here's
justice.
something else that dawned on me. When we went back and looked at the GoFundMe or people that contributed to my cause, most of the donations were less than $5. But what that shows is affirmation that I'm going to send you $1. That may be all I have. And we did. We got in the mail like someone would send us $1. It's affirmation that I stand behind you. I may not be able to help you financially, but I stand behind what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Spiritually, it helps.
It helps because it's hard to get up each day when you're getting beat down by so many people, and it's a new thing every single day. So what are your plans now? Like not that you can have plans, because it's like you don't know what they're going to throw at you next.
We got them. We got plans. We're blessed. As soon as we were able to, basically, we have had the longest liquor license suspension in Texas history. We got our license back in March. The TABC tried to take our license away. The judge said, no, you can't do that. So TABC started trying to make deals with us.
What judge was that, in Fort Worth, or was it a Supreme Court? Or?
No. It was one of our SOAH hearings.
Okay.
They did. And forgive me, there's so many of them. It's hard to keep up.
No,
and they're hitting us from every single angle. But long story short, we got our license back, and then we immediately went to booking the biggest bands on God's green earth.
I've been watching you on Facebook. You've been having packed houses. But nobody's dropping down from, getting COVID.
No.
There's not people dead on the streets, just only outside of your bar.
Exactly. So that is actually, it's caught us up on our COVID debt. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a long road ahead of us. But as long as we can keep that momentum and keep it going, it just sucks, because that's your profits to rebuild and to recoup all your losses.
Well, it's not just that, your staff.
Yes.
Your staff probably fell behind on their rents, their mortgages, all of those things.
Yes.
And it's pretty tough in a business like that to actually build up a savings and be, and they lost it all.
You're right.
They lost everything.
We were once upon a time a $1.7 million grossing business. Now, we're getting there, but we're worth probably about $24 right now. You know, and that's what it does to you. Is they shut down your business or your industry for almost a year, and they're hitting you with this, that, and the other. And let me remind everybody that the comptroller didn't miss a beat in freezing bank accounts and getting theirs.
And I started to say, Greg Abbott never missed a paycheck. No one in the city of Dallas.
Betsy Price gave herself a 3% raise.
Yep,
in 2020.
Well, I know that the city of Dallas tried to give themselves raises after the pandemic, and it's like, what is the nerve of these people?
They didn't miss a meal. No, not in the slightest bit. It's really easy to go on TV and say these things, but you're not the one that doesn't have AC in your car or taking cold showers. And yes, these are all true things. I haven't taken a hot shower in 4 months, because I love what we're doing more than taking a hot shower. You got to go all in with this.
Yeah.
And so far, with that mentality, we're learning that the righteous prevail. The people, the perception. We went from being grandma killers to, wait a second, these guys are onto something.
Right.
And public perception starts shifting. After Freedom Fest, after proving twice on national television under the eyes of the nation that we could conduct business safely, you got to start asking the question, what is this truly about?
Right.
Right? And so if you start diving into the root of all evil, money, you see that Greg Abbott signed Executive Order GA-17 on April 17, 2020, in which he gave 39 members of a COVID strike force power to advise him in infrastructure, public safety.
And these were all big box retail. Like these are very rich people.
They're corporate heads.
But I don't know if you saw an article I read later that, he brought them on to pretend that he was getting some advice. But there was an article written later where some of the strike force team members were saying, He didn't listen to us, what we said. He didn't listen to us. We tried to tell him advice and whatever, and if it went against what he thought, he just ignored them. So that's a problem.
Absolutely. Well, the meetings didn't have to be public. They didn't have to document any of that stuff. I mean, you have Tillman Frieda, a billionaire, restaurant billionaire, that makes a fortune off of alcohol, right? So, of course, when that gets brought up, hey, we need to do something to stop the spread, you know Tillman Frieda was the first one to stand up and be like, no, we're not shutting down our bars.
Right.
Can't do that, Gregory, you know?
So he's not a 51%er?
No, he owns all the Salt House steakhouses, all the Rainforest. Yeah, Saltgrass. I keep saying Salt House. Saltgrass, Rainforest Cafe, thousands of seafood restaurants. I mean, it does good work. It's good food. I mean, you got Bobby Cox,
here's the thing. Not blaming anyone for wanting to stay open. You're not going to Boomer Jack's next door saying you want them in trouble.
Right.
You want to show a comparison and say, we can do this too.
Right.
Just because we sell. Now, let's just talk about this. It's not even just food. You could have sold hats. This is how dumb it is. This is how dumb it is. People could have gone in your bar if you changed your liquor license. Say a lot of people did. They just folded on it, right?
Yes.
You could have sold a T-shirt to people for $100 and given them 25 free Crown and Downs. But as long as you didn't sell it as a Crown and Down or some sort of alcohol, then that's legal.
Yes, I could give you a lap dance.
Would people want a lap dance from you, Chris? I'm just kidding.
Hey, it just proves my point. Everyone wanted to know why the strip club stayed open. That's why.
You could, I did forget to mention the day I went to jail, you could go through a drive-through strip club.
So it has nothing to do with food. It's the first time in the history of the world that public safety boiled down to gross revenue generated by hot dogs or lap dances versus gross revenue generated by Miller Lite.
Right. And he was able to demonize it because it was alcohol.
Right. We're the undesirables. We're the disposables. Most people are ignorant to the fact that Chili's has the same liquor license as I do.
Exactly the same. And you could sit on people's laps, not wear a mask. There was no, at that time, I mean, he changed it later, but at that time, there was no occupancy regulation when he opened them back up. People all over each other, but TABC was all over the 51%.
Yes, which is crazy because here's another smoking gun for you is alcohol taxes is public record, right? So it's amazing to look at June 2020 numbers versus July 2020 numbers. Not to slam Boomer Jacks again, but Boomer Jack showed a $55,000 increase in sales. And it was in fact the most profitable, the highest month they had ever reported in gross mixed beverage taxes or receipts since the opening that location in 2017.
And Boomer Jacks, and again, not knocking them because I would be open too if I were you. Great food, great whatever, but the only thing that Greg Abbott did was kill the little people in this. The people that came, that had a dream in America to open their small little business, that mind their own business, small salons, small business. It only affected those people. And how many bars were just shut down forever? And these are bars that were open for generations. Like my great grandpa owned this bar, gone.
Countless.
So
and VFWs went out too.
The VFWs. And these are our veterans. And I can't even get into the veterans thing because with my dad being a veteran, how little we do for our veterans.
It's disgusting.
We don't have a ton of time. I do want to make sure that people know how they can donate to you, how they can send you a message, how they can get a hold of you. Maybe they can't give you money, but they have another way that they can help you through donations or helping you in any other way. Please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, the GoFundMe, all of that stuff.
Of course. So just right out of the gate, though, I want everyone to understand that this isn't the Rail Club versus the world. This is all the 51%ers standing up on behalf of principle, right and wrong, to make sure that this can never happen again to any small business owner. So like I said earlier in the show, this opens up the floodgates. Once we win, this opens up the floodgates for everyone else to get justice and restitution. So every dollar sent, or it can be sent to Chris Pallone Fights for Freedom at GoFundMe. Or shoot us an email at chris@standforsomething.group.com. Message us over Facebook. I have a page on Facebook. So does the Rail Club. One of our guys, if not myself, I actually answer like 99% of these things.
Yeah, but we'll also put the links when we share the show everywhere. We will put the links on where people can go if you don't have something to write down or whatever.
You're amazing. Thank you.
No, you're amazing. And I'm not just saying that. I know a little tiny bit of what you've gone through, and you've gone through that in multiple months. multiple months compared to the small that I've endured, and it's a lot.
Well, thanks to you, I didn't go to jail.
I did get you that.
You did. You did.
You were wanting to, it probably would have been better if you did. Honestly, it would have made a bigger. We have to do it.
Exactly.
You have to do it in order for people to realize.
I'm cute. I would have made it.
Yeah, you'd have been fine. You'd have been fine. But Chris Pallone, and seriously, you are the epitome of what the show is about.
Thank you.
And you're not worried about yourself. It's not about you.
No.
It's about the other business owners and you having a voice for them. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. It means more to me than you know.
Oh. Thank you, everybody, for watching Courage to Stand. Chris's story will not get out unless you share. You can also go to couragetostand.com. And if you get on our email list at couragetostand.com, we'll send you all of the links so you can help Chris Pallone and the Rail Club Live and basically all of the other small businesses, especially the 51%ers that you guys all know what it is now. We're proud of people like you, and please keep standing up, and please keep having the courage to stand. Thank you so much.